the narrative that Lamar Jackson is great, but he's a fad and he's going to fall away because running quarterbacks don't make it is a fallacy. He can. It's been proven. Steve Young, ran the ball. He had 500 yards rushing when he was 37 years old. Steve Young
didn't play for the first 6 years of his career.
True,
and if he did, he may have gotten those concussions earlier.
True, it didn't matter, but he played to his 38.
But no, I hear you. But for the context, if you don't play for the first 6 years, but that's
not my point. My point is, as you get older, people assume you can't be a running quarterback, and that's not the case, especially with athleticism that's elevated to the level that these kids are nowadays. And so the question I think of when I watch Lamar Jackson, other than how amazing he is, and he helped me win my fantasy game last night because he had 40-something points, is this sustainable? Right? Can he keep doing this? Can he rush for 1,000 yards a season and throw for 3,000 and score like he's playing a video game? He scored on every possession. They scored every possession they scored. And the last one was the field goal. Other than that, they scored touchdowns on every single possession and 5 touchdowns. And the numbers won't blow you away. But God, if you're the Rams, you felt like you had no chance after they hit their third possession. And so, is it sustainable? The more I think about it and the more I see him evolve as a passer, the answer is absolutely yes. If he ever gets to the point where he can't run, maybe he just turns into that guy like Steve Young or Randall Cunningham. I can stand in the pocket and be a pretty good passer as well. Don't count me short just because I'm an athlete.
I think it's sustainable. I don't even think it's really much of an issue based on the way the rules have gone. It's a different league. There's no late hits. There's no picking guys. Oh, there are, but you're severely pent on picking guys up and plowing them and pile driving them into like AstroTurf in Philadelphia that was like concrete. I mean, it's different. So the ability for him to stretch his career out, far longer than Vic is there. But, it's funny. A lot of the things you say I agree with. I look at it differently, though. I'm watching him last night, right? And I felt this a few times this year, but maybe it was amplified Monday night stage. The Rams are supposed to be a quality football team. Spoiler, they're not. We'll get to them next segment and thoroughly with them. They have a lot of problems. The future of L.A. football is bad. It's very worrisome for the league.
I agree.
But let's kick that down because I know we want to focus on just how great Lamar and the Ravens are right now. I watched Lamar Jackson, and there's been very few times in my life where I've watched somebody and I've literally said out loud, I haven't seen this before, right? I said it a few times with Michael Jordan, but the old heads, including my dad, said, nah, he's just a little bit more of an athletic Oscar Robertson. The guys who saw Oscar Robertson said, Big O would take off and then he would decide what he was going to do in the air. Maybe a little bit embellished, I get it. But Oscar played a style similar to MJ, much like Kobe played a style similar to Michael. I watched Lamar Jackson, and I got to tell you, I see a little LeBron, that big, even though he's not thick but that rare prototype with everything: the burst, the hops, the speed, the strength, the skill, the dexterity. So he's got all that. But then I also feel like I'm watching Tiger Woods because even the old heads who watch Jack and Gary and Artie play and, Sam Snead, if you're around for that, Bobby Jones, it doesn't matter who it is, right? Nobody smashed a golf ball like Tiger Woods back in the day. Yeah. Now, there's guys who do it now, but in terms of being the first. So I watched Lamar, and it's a rareness. It's a newness. It's a freshness. He's unbelievable, dude. You can't stop this guy.
He owns the game. And it was typified. I think it was probably the third drive. He was scrambling around. He moved himself out of the pocket. Linebackers chasing him down. Thinks he's going to catch him. And he's just playing with them. Like he's running away from him, like pointing at him. I mean,
yes.
Saw this play.
Yeah.
Like he's running away from the guy, like pointing at him. Like good luck, man.
Was he taunting him or was he looking for a flag? He's not the kind. I don't think he's a taunter.
It doesn't matter what he was doing. I don't know if he was taunting or looking for a flag or whatever. But he was pointing at the dude as he was running away from him, like putting space between this other elite athlete and him, running towards the sideline, keeping another eye on his tight end, who he then just sidearm flicks it to and picks up 8 yards.
I know.
Right? A dead play that breaks down. He finds some way to use his athleticism to create a big play downfield. And, I mean, what did he start the game? 10 for 10 or 11 for 11 or whatever it was?
It's ridiculous.
It was unreal. And that's when we started this chain like, dude, what are we watching?
I know.
This is unreal how good he is.
And how good they are.
And how good they are.
They are good.
Now, and the other side of this is their defense. And look, they stop the run. They don't give up big plays in the pass game.
No.
If they have an offense that doesn't, short circuit at some point, the one game I do have to go back and watch, and I haven't done it yet because it was a while ago, was the Browns game. Because the Browns
37-20, I think it was.
I think it was 40.
No, I thought it was 30. Well, maybe I thought it was 37-20.
The Browns destroyed them. They beat them up, and it was like over at the beginning. It wasn't even, this got into the fourth quarter and it got away from. The Browns handled Lamar Jackson and then they handled the Ravens on the other side as well. That's the one game that you look at and you scratch your head a little bit. Other than that, this Baltimore Ravens team is either surprising everyone still, which doesn't make sense because we're 13 or 12 weeks into the season, or they're just that good. Greg Roman is that good. John Harbaugh is that good. These players who are replacing a lot of legends, especially on the defensive side of the ball, are that good. They feel unbeatable because they're blowing out the bad teams like they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And then they're blowing out the good teams as well, like the Patriots.
And now they're blowing out the good teams right away. They're not even waiting. Like, it's one thing to jump on Miami early. We know their position. We're not taking a shot at Miami, but Miami's, listen, it's just a dearth of talent. They've got to restock the cupboards. We get that. I mean, the game was over 5 minutes into the game.
In L.A.
That's what I mean.
It wasn't even
the
at home.
game was over.
It wasn't bad weather conditions. There was nothing to blame.
Beautiful.
It's blustery and hot and or cold and it's not hot and all these other things. No, it was in Los Angeles. Ideal 60-something degree temperatures at kick. And
the field was a mess, too, with the Pac-12 logos and the USC. Right. I mean, come on.
But this game was over in the first two series.
I'd like to say I really enjoyed it, but I didn't. I mean, I was messed. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed seeing something like that, where I'm not out of necessity for my job going, the red zone cut in and cut outs and going to the local Fox and the local CBS. I can just watch him every single snap. And it was a treat, but we've got to change the narrative here. We got to stop talking about Mike Vick. Again, Tiki said we had Vick on the show the other day. Mike Vick, and I say this smiley and certainly respectfully, Mike Vick can't shine his shoes.
That's right. Well,
Mike Vick can't shine his shoes.
Mike
Vick didn't throw with the proficiency in which he threw. Not even close.
By the way, Vic said this. When he first saw Lamar Jackson. Right. He's like, this guy's twice as good as I ever was.
Against the Florida State game.
That's right. And Vic was right.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson has every skill set that you need and want as a quarterback. And also, there's a chip on his shoulder. It's not like the Baker Mayfield chip where he's going to throw it in your face and be like, screw you for doubting me. It's not like that.
That's not his personality.
It's this subtle.
Yeah.
Like,
I know what he means.
I'm looking at you and I'm smiling at you, even though I know a month ago or a year ago you were saying, he's just another one of the athletic quarterbacks that's not going to make it.
Yep.
Yeah, look at his completion percentage. Yeah, he won some games, but he's not going to make it. He holds it, and you can see it drives him, and it's actually fun.